Hi everyone, Dietitian Diana here. So today I want to talk about a hormone in your gut that burns fat. It controls blood sugar better than expensive medications. And you can boost it naturally with the right foods. So I'm talking about GLP-1s, the same hormone that drugs like Ozempic and Wegovy mimic. But here's what Big Pharma doesn't want you to know. Your body can actually produce more of this fat-burning, blood sugar-controlling hormone naturally. So while everyone's spending thousands on GLP-1 medications, I'm going to show you 7 specific foods that trigger your body's own GLP-1 production without the side effects and without the cost. So I've analyzed the research on GLP-1 boosters, and what I found will change how you think about weight loss and blood sugar control forever. Let's dive into the science. So first up is protein. Protein is going to be your most powerful GLP-1 weapon. High protein foods are really well known to increase GLP-1 secretion and also promote fullness. So when you eat protein, it breaks down into amino acids that directly stimulate intestinal L cells. So these are the same cells that produce GLP-1. And controlled trials have shown that various protein sources increase GLP-1 levels after eating. For example, milk proteins, as well as proteins from soy and wheat, like gluten, all stimulated higher GLP-1 release compared to other macronutrients. So how can you incorporate this? Aim to include a protein source in every meal, no matter what you do, even with your snacks, to naturally boost GLP-1. So for example, lean meats and fish include chicken, turkey, or fish like salmon in your main dish. These are going to provide really high quality protein that are also lean, which is very important for type 2 diabetes, and they're going to directly stimulate GLP-1 release. Then also you have plant proteins like legumes and soy. So beans, lentils, chickpeas all offer both protein and also offer fiber. So these plant-based proteins not only directly trigger GLP-1, but they're also going to ferment in the gut and it's going to produce GLP-1 boosting compounds. And I'll get into this more in a bit. So for me, I like to try to include 20 to 30 grams of protein with every one of my meals. I try to make that my goal. And then with my snacks, I aim for about 10 to 15 grams. That way I know I'm getting enough protein throughout the day and I'm also stimulating the release of GLP-1. So that protein pack is very powerful, but if you don't combine it with this next food, you're missing a ton of the GLP-1 benefits. So the next food category is high fiber grains like oats, barley, and whole wheat. So these foods have been shown to increase GLP-1 in a few different ways. Number one, their soluble fiber is going to slow down digestion. So as food remains in the digestive tract longer, it's going to lead to a gradual release of glucose into the bloodstream. And this triggers the release of GLP-1. Plus, when gut bacteria ferment fiber, they produce something called short-chain fatty acids. And these are called acetate, propionate, and butyrate. And research suggests that these short-chain fatty acids also stimulate GLP-1. So you're getting a double win. So the secret really is soluble fermentable fiber. So here are ways to incorporate this. You can start your day with oatmeal. If you need help on how to build a proper bowl of oatmeal for diabetes, definitely check out my video on this topic. I go over how to build a bowl so that you don't experience huge spikes in your blood sugar. You can also incorporate whole grains in your lunch and dinner. Things like barley, brown rice, and quinoa are all good examples. Okay, so protein and fiber are game changers, but this next group of foods might be the most surprising GLP-1 booster of all. And the food group is unsaturated fats. So not all fats trigger GLP-1, but unsaturated fats are like flipping a metabolic switch. So unsaturated fats are typically referred to as healthy fats, and they are found in foods like oil, avocados, nuts, and seeds. And these unsaturated fats bind to specific receptors on your intestinal L cells. Saturated fats, on the other hand, are found in large quantities in meat and dairy, and it turns out they barely activate these receptors at all. And the research proved this. In a classic experiment, people who ate meals rich in olive oil had significantly higher post-meal GLP-1 levels than those who ate the same meal but with butter. Other findings done in rodent studies show that an olive oil enriched diet increases GLP-1 secretion, stimulates insulin secretion, and improves glucose tolerance. And similar results were also seen in diabetic rats fed a diet rich in these unsaturated fatty acids from olive oil. And the results show that GLP-1 levels increased, weight gain decreased, and insulin sensitivity improved. Of course, we aren't rats, but there has been some preliminary studies done in humans. And in one particular study showed that a Mediterranean diet rich in olive oil led to higher post-meal GLP-1 level, improved sensitivity, and lower fasting and post-meal blood sugar levels compared to a diet high in saturated fat. Another example of a healthy fat that increases GLP-1 are avocados. So avocados may increase GLP-1 levels through their high content of not only unsaturated fat, but also fiber. The fiber in the avocados slows down digestion, leading to a more gradual release of glucose into the bloodstream. And interestingly, one study from 2019 found that compared with consuming a control meal, eating avocado with a meal increased levels of GLP-1 along with another appetite regulating hormone called peptide YY, while also reducing insulin levels. And then another example of a healthy fat that increases GLP-1 are nuts, specifically almonds, pistachios, and peanuts. They may increase GLP-1 levels through their protein, fiber, and their healthy fat content. And similarly to avocados, the fiber in these nuts actually helps to slow down digestion, leading to a gradual release of glucose into the bloodstream and a corresponding increase in GLP-1 secretion. The healthy fats in nuts also play a role as they can help improve insulin sensitivity, which further supports the release of GLP-1. So here's how you can apply this. Cook with extra virgin olive oil instead of butter. So try to use olive oil in place of butter as often as you can. Add avocados to your meals or your snacks. One of my favorite snacks is a handful of pistachios with an apple or an orange. So the key is replacing saturated fats with these GLP-1 activating unsaturated fats. Okay, so those foods are very powerful, but the foods I'm going to get into now can really just amplify everything I've covered so far. So the next food group is going to be vegetables such as Brussels sprouts, broccoli, carrots. They're all high in fiber and vitamins, which can help regulate blood sugar levels and potentially affect GLP-1 levels as well. There is a 2022 study conducted in Indonesia. It found that people with type 2 diabetes who consumed vegetables before their carbohydrates had more stable glucose and GLP-1 levels than those who consumed their vegetables after their carbohydrates. So don't skip your veggies. Make sure you're incorporating them with as many meals as you can. And lastly, and very interestingly, research also shows that the combination of protein and calcium may help trigger increased GLP-1 secretion. So the researchers found that there's a potential synergy between protein and calcium on GLP-1 secretion. So combining the two together or eating foods rich in both can help secrete more GLP-1. So how do you apply this? Well, it's pretty easy, really. A cup of yogurt, whether that's Greek or soy-based yogurt or kefir, it's going to provide a lot of protein and calcium. Or a protein shake where you're adding some protein powder with some milk is going to provide both as well. Okay, so there you have it. 7 natural ways to boost your body's own GLP-1 production. And the best part, unlike expensive medications, these foods are also going to provide additional health benefits like better heart health, improved digestion, more stable blood sugar levels, etc. If this video helped you understand how to naturally boost GLP-1, please click that like button and subscribe to our channel for more science-backed nutrition tips. And drop a comment below which of these GLP-1 boosting foods will you try first. And remember, your body has incredible healing powers when you give it the right tools. See you in the next video.